We'll start with the prayers. Vasudeva sutam devam kamsa chanuramartanam devaki paramanandam Krishnam vande jagatgurum. Chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita is titled Daiva Asura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. And this chapter deals with the mind, the human mind. We all want to improve. When we are in school, we all want to tell our parents, I want to become good. And the only thing at that time we know is that we want to purify our mind, we want to train our mind to achieve the goals in life. So in the school, we learn how to live a life of values. From there, we start the study of the mind. In this chapter, 16th chapter, the Lord teaches Arjuna how to purify the mind so that we are clear in this life what is our duty, what we should do in what situation, and live without any delusions in life, wrong notions in life. Because ultimate success in spirituality could be a long way away when you want to realize the ultimate truth, which is Aham Brahma Asmi. I am the divine person. That is my real nature. Because that requires a certain strength of the mind to look beyond the mind and to finally drop the mind, which is a difficult task for most of us. But what we can achieve is improve the quality of our minds slowly. And last week we saw what are the divine qualities. Today we are going to see what are the devilish qualities. In India, we celebrated Dasara yesterday, and they were yesterday in some places. And there we know the story that how Rama killed the demons. And what did he destroy? You see, there was a divine quote recently, which I'm sure all of you have seen, which said, "Happy Dasera because you have won your mind." The 10 heads of Ravana have been cut. And what are those 10 qualities in our mind which we have destroyed? Number 1, pride. Number 2, greed. Number 3, anger. 4 is lust. 5 is delusion. 6 is jealousy. All this we'll be seeing in this chapter. Then the 7th one is negativities. 8th one is selfishness, hatred, and ultimately the ego. So these are the 10 heads which keep popping in our mind throughout our life. If you analyze your thought processes, you'll find that these 10 heads are the main ones which keep coming. And they are the ones which are not allowing us to go and see beyond the mind. Now you will understand how difficult is this spiritual path It's a very subtle razor-like path, which is what Kathopanishad says. Shurasya dhara. Very, very fine. You have to walk on the tight rope and make sure you don't fall this side or that side and keep walking. Because on both the sides is our mind. In one side there is delusion, another side there are all these qualities which are to be negated by us. And a person who has negated these qualities, these devilish qualities in him or her, he is the one who is successful adhikari. He has got the ability to see the truth, experience the truth. That is the background in which we should study this particular chapter. And what we have seen in the last 3 verses, the Daivi qualities which we are supposed to cultivate: fearlessness, purity, scriptural study, charity, control of sense organs, which means control of eyes, ears, nose, smell, tongue. Do charity, austerity, worshipping God, live a straightforward life. Do not have violence in your mind, speech, or action. Speak the truth. Develop a sense of renunciation with reference to things we don't need in life. Having a calm and a patient mind, absence of slander from the mouth in our speech, absence of greed, aggrandizement, gentleness in everything, modesty, holding on to whatever we want to achieve in goal, absence of restlessness, and strength of the mind. These are the qualities of Daivi Sampat. We have already seen this in verse 1 to 3. And now we are going to enter the Asuri Sampat, which is from verse number 4 to 21. And then we'll conclude in the 22nd verse. The 3 main Asuri Sampat which we have to control are desire, anger, and greed. That's how the Lord concludes this chapter. And he says that the scriptures should be our guide all the time in our life. So if you follow this particular chapter, you can see the practical benefit of the study of Bhagavad Gita. Many people ask, is there any practical thing which we can learn from the Bhagavad Gita? To those people, you should directly come to 16th chapter and tell them this is what the Bhagavad Gita is teaching. Do not teach them chapter 13, 14, 15, because they will not understand. So different people, you can approach the Bhagavad Gita in different ways. The 2 main ways are, number 1, if a person is not interested in the spiritual study, but he wants to lead a good life, which is what is called as Karma Yoga life. Then you can teach him 3, 4, 5, chapter 3, 4, 5. But suppose a person is not even interested in that Karma Yoga life. Don't teach me all this theory about Ishvara Prasada Buddhi and all that. Then what you can do is, you can, especially to youngsters, we must give them this knowledge of this chapter, especially the teens. From age 12 to 18, 20, we can teach them these values and tell them that these are the values you should cultivate and these are the values you should avoid. Very, very good chapter. Now let us go to verse number 4, where we have to start today. Dambo darpo bimanascha Krodha parushyameva cha ajnanam chapi jatasya partha sampadamasurim. We are going to discuss three waves of Asuri Sampat. In the first wave is Damba, Darpa, Abhimana. That is what is said in the first line of this verse. The second wave is the Rajasik mind. A person who has got Rajasik mind, he has to be careful about these two negative qualities, Krodha and Parushyam. Parushyam is desire. Anger and desire, this is the second wave. Ajnanam is the third wave, which is a tamasic quality. So three stages of the ego: Damba, Darpa, Abhimanaha, Krodha, Parushyam, Ajnanam. So totally we are looking at about 6 Asuri Sampat in this particular verse. Damba means what? Ostentatiousness. And without a cause. You show to everybody that I am very rich, I am very knowledgeable, I'm extremely involved in spirituality because I can do meditation for 6 hours a day. Keep on telling everybody that I am a dharmavan. I can stand on one leg in yoga. I can do so many yoga postures. You keep on showing off yourself. Damba, this is called as Damba. And it is a negative quality, it is not a positive quality. So showing off is an ego, is a problem of the ego. Ego I keeps on pushing us and to show off to others that I am a very, very important person in the society. This is a natural feeling of the ego. This is how the ego works. What is Darpa? Darpa means egoistic, pride. The first one is ostentatiousness. Too much of wealth and showing off. The second one is pride. You see, it's an internal pride in wealth and connections. You yourself, it's an internal quality, Darpa. It is an internal value which you feel about yourself. And Bhagavad Gita says, don't take pride in your possessions, in the people at your command, in your relationships, in the world, in the youth which you have. Why? Because time takes away everything in this world. Therefore, seek Govinda. That's what Bhagavad Gita, very beautiful verse, 11th verse, is a very famous verse of Bhagavad Gita. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam. The garvam of the youth is very strong. Again, it's ego. So pride leads to downfall. So we have to just keep a watch. Third one of the ego is abhimana, self-glorification. I know very little of Vedanta, but I think I've got full knowledge. I know very little about the medical field, but I think I know the entire medical field, everything I know. This is called as abhimana. So these are the three negative qualities related primarily to the ego. So we have to keep a watch. Whenever we are studying these 1826 qualities or whatever we are going to study in the following pages, we must realize one thing. We can realize these qualities only when I tell myself, I am a conscious being. The mind is an object of consciousness. The Shastra, the Bhagavad Gita, the 16th chapter is a mirror. This mirror I keep in front. Every day I see it, whole day. I keep evaluating myself. Go introvert, check your mind. What is your mind doing right now? How was the mind during the whole day? So Shastra is a mirror. Shastra tells you, you are consciousness. Take the mirror of the Shastra and see whether you are the awareness consciousness, which is aware of the world. That is what is the meaning of awareness. I am the pure awareness. And these vasanas in the mind, they come gurgling out every now and then. Sometimes anger comes, sometimes compassion comes, sometimes delusion comes, sometimes anger comes, jealousy comes. Just keep a watch. And tell yourself, I am not this. I am not this mind which has got all these negativities. I am the pure Atman. I am the pure consciousness. By nature, it is not connected with the mind. Asangaha, very important lesson in Vedanta, which we do not know unless until we come to study Bhagavad Gita. If we follow these principles, it's very easy to go through all these qualities and say, whenever they arise, I will be careful, I will be alert. That's all. The study of this chapter of these 8 qualities, Asuric qualities, is only for the purpose of being aware that when they arise in me, I must be careful, I must avoid getting attached to this. So the second way is dealing with the Rajasik mind. And what does this say? A Rajasik mind is a restless mind. It is always wants to do some action, and it is, if what you want to do you don't get, you get anger. The cause of anger is desire. Anytime the cause of anger is desire only. I wanted this to be done and this is not done. Whether in the office, in the hospital, in the law firm, I want this to be done, or at home. And your children don't do this, or your wife doesn't do this. So you feel angry. At that time, realize this verse, that this is a negative quality. I should not get involved with this. Be alert. Tell yourself, I will deal with this later. Let me just calm down. Accept this has happened or this is happening. Take whatever action you need to take with a calm mind, if possible. If you can't keep your mind calm, withdraw. And tell your mind, I will handle this later. That's all. But the moment you get pouncing on it and you become angry and you lose your temper, what Gurudev says is, temper takes you to trouble. Pride keeps you there. When anger is there, dealings are harsh. So temper, what temper does, your anger, what does it do? It takes you to trouble first. And then you have pride. Oh, I am in control. I have taken control, charge of this. It is your own pride, your own ego. It keeps you there. That means you keep identifying with your ego for days together and remain angry on the other person. The other person has just forgotten about the whole issue, and it is only you who have kept it in your mind, and therefore it is troubling you. anger management is a very, very, it's a very tricky value to be cultivated. It's not easy because it is a instantaneous reaction to what is happening around. The third wave, and parushya means talking rudely. At any place, you know, maybe it is with the shopkeeper, maybe it's with a neighbor, maybe it's with strangers, maybe with relatives, maybe with your siblings. It can, you know, talking rudely itself is a negative quality. We don't realize it, you know, unless until somebody keeps telling you, why are you so rude? Can't you tell the other person in a nice way, okay, this is not to be done, that's it. And in life, you will find both types of people. There are people who are able to speak very well and control their anger. We must learn from them how they are doing it. You will come across, definitely you will come across, there are some people who are able to handle a situation well. We must try to imitate them. And you will also find some people around you who are very rude. So then you realize rudeness, parushya, is a quality which is a demonic quality, undivine quality. I must drop it. The third wave is a very important, but it is very, very difficult to cross. The other ones you can easily control. You have somewhere you can control your anger, your rudeness, your ego, your pride. All that you can to a certain extent control, but the fifth quality, Ajnanam, is tamasic by nature. And Ajnanam means ignorance. Ignorance of many things. Ignorance between right and wrong, dharma, adharma, good and bad. What is duty and what is not a duty? This is the problem of Arjuna. He didn't understand. He had aviveka, which means his viveka was missing. He didn't have discriminative ability. And we always have a sense of feeling that what we think is the right way. And due to tamas, we are in delusion. Whatever the others say is wrong. Many times we will feel this. But what this 16th chapter teaches us is these rajas, tamas, and sattva, these are three qualities of prakriti, nature, which is the 5 elements. The 5 elements together, when they work in the world, they are working in this formation. Sometimes they are tamasic, sometimes they are rajasic, sometimes they are sattvic. It is the temperament, the mind's nature. The mind is a subtle body made up of 5 elements, and this is the atmosphere in which the mind works when it is dealing with the world. It has got nothing to do with you. The pure awareness, consciousness, which is pervading everything. All your thoughts are pervaded by consciousness, but consciousness does not decide any single thought. Thoughts are coming and going as per what you have cultivated in all your previous experiences in life, this life, as well as previous lives. That is what the Vedas teach us. In the presence of consciousness, the consciousness is eliminating those thoughts, but it is not participating in those thoughts. This is the lesson we must learn. I am consciousness awareness. I am a non-participative in any transaction. We will learn about this in the 18th chapter, much more. What are the factors of action? We'll be learning that in the 18th chapter, but here we should just remember that these are only the qualities of the mind. They do not belong to me. And from now on till the end of this chapter, from verse number 6 onwards to the 22nd, is only an expansion of these 6 Asuri Sampat which we have seen. Yam labdva chaparam labham manyante nadikam tatah yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi na vichalyate. See, with what we have learned in the 6th chapter, the 22nd verse, in that chapter, in the Upasana, this is the Upasana chapter, meditation chapter, where it says the moment one is with Atma, with the knowledge that I am the pure consciousness, and there is nothing else in this world to be gained apart from this consciousness, which I already have gained from the Bhagavad Gita. Then what happens? I am abiding in that pure awareness. If I am able to control that abidance, then Lord Krishna tells that you will not be moved by the sorrowful thoughts which come and bash us because of prarabdha karma. The prarabdha karma phalam is what is the thought. Tomorrow morning, what thought you are going to have, you will not know today. For all of us, tomorrow, what are the thoughts I'm going to have? Can you tell that right now? No. Because that is under the control of Ishvara, karma phala data. And those thoughts are just coming. But I am an indweller in this body. I am the Atma principle. If I know I am the Atma principle, I am asangaha, I am pure consciousness, awareness, not at all affected by these thoughts which arise in my mind, then I am safe. That is the knowledge with which we have to live in this world. And a person who lives like that throughout his life as abiding in that pure awareness, he is called as Jivan Mukta. Next verse, Daivi Sampat Vimokshaya Nibandaya Surimata Mashucha Sampadam Devi Abhijatosi Pandhava. Now slowly Lord Krishna will explain all these Asuri qualities, and then he will teach us throughout these next few verses. You will find every verse will be like a bullet hitting us. It's a knowledge. In this particular verse, he says that the Daivi Sampad will lead you to liberation, freedom from the tormenting mind. And what about the demonical, the opposite quality? That one will keep you in bondage. This is what is the 3 lessons he gives in this one verse. The first lesson, divine nature will give you freedom. The second lesson, the demonical values will keep you in bondage. If you keep identifying with them as yourself, you are in bondage. And then he gives the third one, which is very beautiful. O Pandava, you are born with divine qualities, but you have lost it. That is what he says. When he tells that to Arjuna, it means Lord Krishna is telling all of us the same lesson. Each one of us is divine by nature. We are the pure divine awareness consciousness principle. When we stop identifying ourselves as the awareness, we fall from our real nature to the unreal nature, which is identifying with the ego I. And then we get lost in the world. We get carried away with the ego. So this is the discrimination which we need to cultivate. We need to cherish this divine quality because it gives us Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti. If we have this quality and we are able to live as this Atma, what happens then? Then I can see the whole life is a drama. It's a serial. Every day you wake up and you go to sleep. Again you get up, you go to sleep. You go through the motion of whatever karma phalam comes to you by way of your thoughts. Sometimes good thoughts, sometimes bad thoughts, sometimes good events in life, sometimes very difficult situations in life. Take it as if it is not my own nature, but it is the nature of the mind and body which is there in this world at this current time. That's all. You try to have a distance with this. That is, you see, it's very difficult what I'm saying, but it is possible. By the study of Bhagavad Gita, we try to develop a distance between the self, the pure awareness, and the mind. The undivine is the Asuri Sampad, which is belonging to the mind. And it will keep you in bondage. Nibandhaya. Nibandhaya Asuri Mata. This Nibandha means it is going to keep you in bondage. Therefore, you should learn to remove them and destroy them, which is what is the Dasera celebration. So after Aparoksha Anubhuti, that means a direct experience of the Atma. Aparoksha Anubhuti means I see myself as the pure awareness in which there is no mind, there is no thoughts disturbing me. That is what is known as abidance. It is not very complicated. Not at all. If you just leave everything and be alert, that is your natural self. Your natural self is peaceful, Shanta Swarupa. But what happens is this Shanta Swarupa is robbed away by you because of these thoughts. And hence we have to be careful. After this knowledge that I am the pure Atma, I have realized it. Yesterday I sat in meditation, I realized this. Will I be able to then not have any of these devilish qualities coming and disturbing me? No. Why? Because of prarabdha karma. I can burn away the sanchita karmas and the agami karmas. Those who have attended the law of karma before in Tattvabodha, you can bring back that knowledge. Sanchita means the old baggage which I'm carrying. Agami means which I have now earned in this life, which I will carry. These two are burned by knowledge. And for this, the Shastras are the only proof. What about prarabdha? Prarabdha is a baggage of thoughts which I have to undergo in life. I cannot drop it. It will come till the last day of my living in this world. Exhaustion of karma phalam, that is what we call it as prarabdha karma. In Videha Mukti, prana senses body is not there, but I, the Atma, am there. Atma is always existing. Pranas are appearances, come and go. Manaha is appearance, comes and goes. Body is an appearance, comes and goes. I am the pure consciousness, never comes, never goes, because it is always there. A discriminative intellect will be able to understand this sentence, which I just said. But your discrimination has to be very strong. For Ajnani, Sukshma and Karana Shariram takes future embodiment. Suppose you have not at all got introduced to this awareness, Sakshi, Brahman, Atma, all this you don't know at all. Many people are there. If you don't come to the spiritual study, you will never ever discover Atma on your own. Never. A guru has to come and teach you this Atma Vidya. Without a guru, you cannot learn about your true nature. Therefore, what happens is that desire remains in the Sukshma Sharira always. Always you have one desire after the other. One desire is fulfilled, immediately the next one is waiting. I passed my CA exam, I came first in the All India level, and then immediately I was happy, and the next moment I must get a new job. Again, you become sad, again, you become attached to another desire. One desire goes away, another desire is just waiting. In between the two desires is a very short, fleeting moment of happiness. Can I depend on this type of happiness in my life? Short, fleeting happiness, because I am in contact with the thoughts. Lord Krishna says, drop this type of happiness because this happiness will never last long. On fulfillment of a desire, you have happiness. In between, when you don't have the second desire, you have happiness. These two momentary joys are not what a human being is seeking. The human being is seeking permanent joy, always to be in joy. That can come only by Atma Vidya. The knowledge of Atma, which is beyond the mind, that gives you the real happiness and peace. So this individuality continues even after knowledge, but it will be not as strong as it was before. It will be like the cobras whose poison has been taken away, defanged cobra. You can wear it like an ornament, like Lord Shiva. So similarly, you can have a mind which is defanged mind. And then you can work, you can wear your mind like an ornament, use the mind whenever you want it, you use it. But remove all these negativities by the knowledge of Atma. Recognize the Atma as the Nitya Mukta Swarupa and be free from these negativities. In the forest, a lion, when he walks, He will look after some times, he'll look on the left, on the right, what he has covered. And then he will look in front, what needs to be covered. That is what the Lord does in the next verse. He says, he gives you a consolidation. Do bhuta sargo lokesmin deva suraye cha devo vistarasha proktaha asuram parthame shuno. So he is consolidating whatever we have learned so far. So there are two types of beings in this world, one who follows the Daivi Sampat, one who follows the Asuri Sampat. Daivi Sampat means the divine qualities. He has Shubha Vasanas, noble thoughts and actions, and he takes over goodness to overcome the badness. This is the key. That means he is able to focus on the gunas, good sattvic gunas, and develop the sattvic gunas. And what is the opposite Asuri Sampat? He takes over the badness and overcomes the goodness. That means he keeps on increasing his doshas, his devilish qualities, and he keeps on reducing his good qualities. That is the Asuri. And he develops the Ashubha Vasanas. Many ignoble thoughts keep on coming, disturbing him, actions. He does all wrong actions. So if at some time we find that I'm doing certain actions which are not right, you have to take a back step and realize, have viveka. Write down in a piece of paper, why am I doing this? I should not be doing this. That is the best form of coming out from the wrong tendencies. Each one of us, if you analyze our own mind, we'll come to realize certain small traces of some of these qualities in us. And slowly, gradually, we have to just weed them away. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad has a story in which Devas, Manushas, and Asuras, three people. Devas are the citizens of the Swargaloka, Manushas of the Bhuloka, Asuras were of the lower lokas. They all go to Brahmaji, the creator, Prajapati. And then they say that we want to realize our nature, but we are not able to. What should we do? Brahmaji says, okay, I will give you, each one of you, I will give you 3 words. All the 3 words will start with the. For the Manushas, he said Dhana. For the Devatas, he said Damaha. And for the Asuras, he said Daya. Dana means charity. Dhamma means control of the sense organs, because the Devatas are enjoying bhokta jivas. They need to control the sense organs. And Asuras, basically, they need compassion. They are criticizing, they are doing all wrong actions, Asuras. The moment they have compassion, so the opposite quality for each one of them was given for them to develop. If you follow Dana, Damaha, Daya, then Daivi Sampat is your characteristic. This is, even today, it is valid to all of us. These are 3 very important qualities, and the Lord Krishna develops on these 3 qualities in the following verses. And Asuri Sampat, which we have seen, in the intellect is basically the Ajnanam. And the Pandavas, if you go through the story of Mahabharata, there were 100 Kauravas, and with the grace of the Lord, they could introspect like Arjuna and conquer their inner enemies. Pandavas and Kauravas. Pandavas were 5 in number. They conquered 100 Kauravas. Kauravas were all with demonic qualities. And the 5 Pandavas, because they had Lord Krishna with them, they had clarity in their mind, like Arjuna got full clarity about what he should do, what he should not do. So similarly, we also, if at all we get some of these qualities in us, the teaching is, let us get rid of them by being aware of them first, and then work towards removing them. All of us, it is possible. Pravartim cha nivartim cha janana vidurasuraha na shaucham na pichacharaha na satyam teshu vidyate. Here, the Lord says that the Asuric people, they do not know what to do and what not to do. Neither they have purity or they have good conduct. And they have no truth in their lives. This is how is the character of an Asura. They have no purity of thought, intentions, no right conduct in them. And what are the 2 things they don't know? Pravrti. That means what ought to be done, Dharma. And Nivrti means what ought not to be done, what should be desisted, refrained. And we all live a life of Ajnani because of ignorance about Atma. We are governed by vices, negativities, and we live a life of ignoble thoughts and actions. And we are comfortable. You see, many people you will find, see, even if you don't know about your qualities, you can find this in the outside world. Learn from the people outside and see that those are the qualities which I should also avoid. For the Asuras, Adharma looks fine. They have no regrets at all. There is no vidhi and nisheda of the Shastras. Vidhi means what should be done. Nisheda means what should not be done. So inside their mind is cluttered, and outside they behave wrongly, they are dirty, their actions, their thoughts, everything, they speak asatyam. That means they speak the false all the time. The expression which they have is only, whatever they do outside is an expression of what is there in their mind. So through Deha, Manaha, and Vak, we express in the world what is there in our vasanas as tendencies. And whatever they think is right, as long as they want it, they feel that that is the best, that's the right thing to do, because it is depending on their likes and dislikes. These are all qualities of the Asuras. The end justifies the means. All this is because of tamas. It is covering it is covering and is bringing out the wrong vision of the world. Taittiriya Upanishad has got the first chapter in which, for a brahmachari, what are all the qualities which he should develop is mentioned. In this verse, the 11th section, the first verse, it talks about speak the truth, do your duty, study the Vedas, so that you continue the family descendant. Never fall away from duty. Again and again, this chapter, the first chapter is a beautiful chapter for brahmacharis who are studying. The second chapter of the Taittiriya Upanishad is the real Brahmananda Valli. That is the real chapter where you get the definition of Satyam Jnanam Anantam in the very first mantra. The second chapter. But the first chapter is a preparation for the knowledge. And what is the preparations? The preparation is do your duty. Treat the guest like a god. Atiti Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Matru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. All these are all Devi qualities. If we develop, what happens is we will have a better quality of life and we'll be able to enjoy the life. 8th verse, Asatyam Pratishtam Te Jagadahurinishwaram Apare Sambhutam Kemanyase Kamaitukam. So all these are again continuous of the Asuri Sampat till the verse number 22. So what is the thought, what is the thinking of these people, Asuri people? The universe is without truth. There is no morals in this world. Charvaka life, you know. And what we have to do is just enjoy in this world and go. That is their thinking. Shastric principles do not guide this universe. That is the first thought they have. They don't believe in the Shruti or the 18 Puranas, Itihasas like Ramayana and Mahabharata. They do not believe in the structure of life established by Shastras. Dharma, which gives punyam, adharma gives papam. They do not know. Dharma gives sukham, adharma leads to dukkham. So they do not believe there is a creator, there is a karma phala data who gives us the phalam for whatever actions we do. There is a reaction. That reaction comes in the form of thoughts on a daily basis. Next day, tomorrow, what you will be doing depends on what you have done today. Similarly, what you have done today will depend on yesterday. So this is the cycle. This is the cycle of human birth. Your own actions produce reactions, and then you again have to go through those reactions. This is the law of karma. And what they feel that is just the whole life is only a combination of the male, female who create beings in this world, and there is nothing else to this world except live life the best way you can and then leave. They don't have any discrimination at all. This is what is called as Charvaka, where body is taken as the self and world is an automatic process which is happening. And there's nothing else beyond this. There is no Atma, there is no Ishvara. They don't believe in Ishvara at all because they say whatever is Pratyaksha is only valid. If I don't see Ishvara, there is no Ishvara. So eat and be merry is their philosophy. Etam drishtamavashtabhya nashtamano lavuktayah pabhavantyaguva karmanah shayaya jagato hitah. So those people have ruined their intellect and they cause harm to the world. They lead lives only for destruction of others. They destroy themselves and they have a very narrow mindedness. They have a childish vision of this world, not a mature vision. They are materialistic throughout their life. They don't understand that the body is inert and there is a knower of the body. The knower is different than the known. It is the consciousness which is governing the body and the mind. These are all the knowledge you get from study of Gita. They are not aware of all this. The human body is just a karma bhumi. It is in this karma bhumi, it is for knowing the greater happiness of the self. We can use this body. The body has been given to us by the Lord. You can use it to learn the highest in this universe, which is Brahma Vidya. Or you can just use this body for just sense pleasures, earn money, dharma, artha, kama, you do, and then leave the body. What would you prefer? Would you want to know the secret of life itself, the miracle of life, the magic of life? Then you follow the Daivi Sampada. If you want to destroy yourself at the end and also the world with your narrow-mindedness, follow the Asuri Sampada. 3 waves, like I said, ignorance, 7, 8, 9, Kama Krodha is verse number 10, and Dhamba Abhimanam is all in 10. So let's go to the 10th verse. I'm going a little fast because these are all fairly simple verses. Even by reading these verses, you know what is the meaning. Therefore, I'm going a little fast. Kamamashritya dushpuram dhambamanas madanvitaha mohat grihitva satgrahan pravartanteshu chirvritaha. So these people, they have insatiable desires, one after the other, like the fire. You keep on putting fuel in the fire. What happens? The fire keeps on asking for more and more, more and more, more and more. And they have hypocrisy, pride, arrogance. That is what is the Asuri. Bhagavan describes the Asuri much more because he wants us to get rid of these qualities. So Asuras have desires for pleasure which are difficult to fulfill, never-ending pleasures. One desire finished, another desire comes. One desire finished, another desire comes. Like Ravana and Hitler. They feel the world is under their umbrella, under their control. You show off as if you have all the pride, the Rajoguna in you. They are all poofed up with negative emotions. It makes a person workaholic, selfish. All this is caused by ignorance, delusion, which is a tamasic quality. Because of these tamasic quality and rajasic quality, one leads a false life. Non-stop worry, non-stop anxiety. If the anxiety is too much in your life, there is a way to come out of it. That is what is the teaching. Chintamapariam meyam cha pralayantamupashitaha kamopabhoga parama etavaditi nishchitaha. They hold evil goals in their lives. Even during their death, they are worried about the electricity bill. It has gone up by 50% last month. Why? They are worried. Drop it. That's what Lord Krishna says. Drop your worries. There is a different way of living. The goal should not be to enjoy the objects. Artha should not be for only kama. Artha should be for dharma. These people, they feel there is no dharma, there is no future embodiment. Therefore, there is no purification required of the mind. Whatever is seen alone is the truth. They want to even borrow and enjoy. They don't realize that the body one day goes to ashes, and they feel there is no rebirth. In Brahma Sutra, there are first 4 verses, Athato Brahma Jignasa Janmadasya Yataha Shastra Yonetva Tattu Samanvaya. These are the first 4 verses of the Brahma Sutra. Very, very important verses. I have done this for the Wednesday class before. The whole of first chapter of Brahma Sutra I have taken before for the Wednesday class group. And these 4 verses describe what should be my goal of life. I must get Brahma Vidya. That should be the goal. Don't leave this world without getting this knowledge, because that will liberate you forever. Very important. These 4 verses are the most important in the entire Brahma Sutras, which consist of more than 15 sutras. So there's a lot of things to learn in this life. Let's not waste our lives with demonic qualities is the central message. The Lord is painting a dramatization of Asuri's thought process in the mind, which makes our mind restless throughout our life. We keep developing our negative tendency because of these Asuric qualities. And they take us to painful situations in life again and again. And we swing to adharma, keep on swinging to adharma with these qualities. We are taken for a ride by our own mind. We don't know that we are following dharma. We don't know that following dharma gives us sukham in life. Therefore, we end up doing wrong actions because of lack of knowledge. It's not that the life just happens. There is a superficial, negative, illogical thinking in our mind. That is the problem. We need to go deeper into our mind, ask ourselves, is this the only way to live? All mistakes and thoughts are because of the wrong groove pattern. See, we have formed the groove ourselves again and again by repeated thinking in a particular fashion. If you get up in the morning, you'll find that you think in the same fashion every day. You will start drawing the same circle again and again. Is there a way out? That is what you should ask. Kama, Dhamba, Moha, these are all the rule of the Asuric life. Asha, Pasha, Shatai, Bhardaha, Kama, Krodha, Parayanaha, Ihante, Kama, Bhogartam, Anyayenash, Sanchayan. Now, these people have got a lot of hope. They are bound by hopes, ties of hope. This is what is the bondage. Lust, anger. They want to hoard wealth. Themselves, they are bound by countless desires, not from outside. In their own mind is what is the problem. They're bound in their tendencies in the mind. Mind governs our life. Mind is our instrument, vehicle by which we do all our activities. So therefore, we have to study our mind. We generally feel that with wealth we'll be happy, with possessions we'll be happy, but they are the causes for bondage. And normally we take refuge in our own goodness, compassion, love, and truth. So through Artha and Dharma, we go to Kama and not to Moksha. This is the problem. We have to drop the cycle of using the wealth we have for entertainment. Keep it aside. We need it. We need it for our living, comfortable living. But go after moksha. Once you have a reasonable amount of life, a reasonable good quality life, and you have taken care of your future, then work for moksha. That is where we have to focus. But there are people who have got wealth for generations, but still they will never come towards the path of moksha. That is the Asuri Sambandha. Idam adhyamaya labdham mam prapse manoratham idam astidam abhime bhavishyati punardhanam. What is their thought process? I have gained this today. I shall gain this tomorrow. This is mine, and this wealth will be mine in future. This is the Charvaka principle. They are pressurized by their own desires. They think that they can get whatever their mind thinks. A lot of problems comes because of the wealth. Wealth should be used correctly. That is the message here. We are lost in our dreams created by our own minds, which is called as manoratham. These are all, you see, these are all the waves of thoughts in our minds. Lord Krishna has, Veda Vyasa has beautifully given the picture of our minds. Asau maya hata shatruho anishe chaparanapi Ishvaro maham bhogi siddhoham bhalavan sukhi. This enemy has been conquered by me. I am perfect. I shall destroy everybody and I will be happy. That is the thinking. This happens very often in business also. I have destroyed all my small fellow competitors. I'm great. I have got great extra talents. I'm an extraordinary human being. I accomplish everything I want. This is all the ego. You see, this is the egoistic life. I have all the powers. I have great capacity, political power, money power, health. I've got very good health. Nothing is going to happen to me. Naturally, I'm happy. This is the feeling of a Asuri Sampad. They say, come on, join me and be a part of my plans. I'm the best in the world. That's what the Lord says in the 15th and the 16th. This is a continuation. 24 verses are there. All these are just the waves of thoughts. Adhyo bijanavanasmi ko nyosti sadrusho maya yakshe dasyami modishya Ityajnana vimohitaha. I am rich, well born. I'm born with a silver spoon. Nobody is near me. I can enjoy in this world. See, these are all the thinking process. Super wealthy. I have contacts with the ministers. I can do whatever I want. I have constructed this temple completely. Every pillar has got my name. Even the tube lights have my name. See, these are all how Asuris think. They want to show off. That's what it means here. I have done big yajnas, pujas. I give alms to beggars. They take my name. Whenever I walk across on the road, they take my name. Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda calls this, they have a PhD in delusion. All these verses, what we have seen, what he calls is they have a PhD in delusion. Every second of their life is a delusion, but they think that they are spiritual. And they are totally living in spiritual ignorance. That is what is the problem. अनेकचित्त विभ्रांताः मोहज्जाल समावृताः प्रसक्ता काम भोगेषु पत्यन्ति नरकेषु च. See, they are all like fish caught in a net. They can't move because of their thoughts, because of the ego. They think that they are free, but they have foolish thoughts. Asuras are attached, devoted to enjoyments of pleasures. The fish thinks that it is happy in delusion, and it gets stuck up in the net. And their minds, they need deep cleanse wash. They may have done dana, puja, noble things, but with wrong motives. How do I do my puja? Do I want to harm somebody else and take a puja, do a puja? Do I want to give dana at the same time I have some other motive? Now, these are the qualities of the Asuri. They are not really worshipping the Lord. That's what the Lord Krishna says. Atma sambhavita sastabdaha dhanaman dhanamana madanvitaha yajante nama yajnaiste dhambena vidipurvakam. More qualities are mentioned, how they are stubborn, filled with pride, drunk with wealth. See, they only glorify themselves and they are not open to criticism. They want Ashtotra Namavalli on their name. From morning to evening, people have to keep telling them, more, you are so good and so fantastic. And this is the Ashto Namamantra. Instead of God, Vishnu Sahasranama, they give it on their boss. No humility or reverence. They have respect only for themselves. Stabdaha. Stabdaha means they are not open for any advice. Absolutely arrogant. Full of self-pride. They cause pain to others. No yajna dana tamaha. Tapaha. It's not tamas here. There's a correction. Yajna dana tapaha is practiced. If at all they practice yajna dana tapa, it is only for namesake. We will study this more in the 18th chapter, and where we will study how different sattvic yajna, rajasik yajna will be explained. So these asuris, they do yajnas, no doubt, but they are stingy in giving dakshinas. When you are supposed to give a dakshina of $10, they will give you $1. They don't have inner or external purity. This is a very beautiful verse. Aham kara balam darpam kamam krodham cha samshitaha mamatma paradeheshu pradvashantyupayo sukhaha. They are given to egoism, power, and haughtiness. Now, ahamkara balam darpam. This is what they feel, that the ego, the pride in the ego is so great, and they believe that that is what is the natural thing they should have. So they will go to the temple and they keep looking around. How many people are seeing me worshiping? Are all my friends here seeing me worship the Lord? They keep looking around. Their self is puffed strength. Self-puffed strength comes because of their victory over others. Full of pride. It causes pain to their elders, and to their relationships. They have only selfish desires. They have anger in their minds, and they cause pain, even to me, the Lord says. Why? Because Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddeshe Arjuna Stishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Mayaya. This is a very important verse, which we will take it up in the 11th, in the 18th chapter. But what we should understand here is the Lord says that I am there in each of your heart. So don't forget this. So if you are hurting somebody, it means that you are hurting me in their minds. They criticize, they insult others who do good to them. We see all negatives in full expression in this Asuri Sampad. Even if we have a small wee bit in us, we must analyze, correct, and remove them. What happens to these Asuras? We will see in the next verse. The problem is that even if they are bound to their desires, they think that they are free. That is the problem. Why? Because they think they can do anything. That is the real bondage. What is freedom is felt as bondage. What is bondage is felt as freedom. That is what is called as the Maya in us. See, we are not free, but we think we are free. Because we have money, we feel we can buy anything, including happiness, security, fulfillment. That is what is Maya. When we live as per the Shastras, we feel we are bound by rules and regulation that will give eventual freedom and moksha. That is the right thing. When we live as per our likes and dislikes, it is a bondage. And that bondage will give us rebirth. So this cycle is very beautifully explained in this chart. The life which is driven by likes and dislikes, we are bound to countless wants and wishes. When we have wants and wishes, we lead life of kama and krodha, which means a life which is devoted to fulfillment of only our wishes. Even adharmic ways are used to fulfill the wishes. So in this way, what happens is kama, bhoga brings krodha, madha, matsarya and all that. This is the result of the wrong way of living. Because of this, we show off. We do dharma to show off. We feel the puffiness. All negatives are inside, and there is hatred inside for others. This is the guide. This is how the Asuras' life is. Nobody can guide the Asuras because this is their living. I will try and finish this verse today, and then we'll go to the question answers. We all have elements, small fractions of this Asuri Sampat. How do I know that I have this pride? What we can do is check these qualities in us by showing the mirror that I am the consciousness in which the mind is appearing and disappearing. If I have a mirror in front in which I see myself, the appearance of the reflection is there when the mirror is there. That means I use this mirror to see my face, to see my qualities, my mind, and then correct them. How do I know that I have got karma, desires? Whenever I feel restless, I want to study this, I want to study that, I want to do this, I want to do that. That is what is called as restlessness. That is what is called as karma. Good karma also is a problem. Reduce restlessness is the message here. Keep your mind calm, cheerful, and see how life you can lead with a control over all your actions. How do you know krodha is there in your mind? Because agitation inside brings harsh words. Do you speak softly? No, or do you speak with harsh words? Sometimes people feel using harsh word is very important because that way they can get their work done. But that is not true. Chaitanyam, supreme consciousness, is alone present in an individual jiva. Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manashashtanendriyani prakritisthani karshati. We have seen this verse before in the 15th. The Lord says, I am there in each one of you. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashitaha. We have seen this in the 15th chapter. So these are all messages to us to study whether we have Asuri Sampat or not. There are a few books which I have recommended here. If you want to study more about the mind, Manashodhanam by Swami Tejomayananda of Chinmaya Mission. Each Asuri Sampat is taken and remedy is discussed. Very beautiful book. There's another book called called Hasten Slowly by Swami Chinmayananda, or read the Gospel of Ramakrishna, Ishvara Darshanam by Swami Tapon Maharaj. Now all this gives us how to be a noble person in the world. All the autobiographies of all the masters, if you read them, you will see the quality of their minds. Once we remove the negativities from our inner nature, we are all realized people. Ishvara gives karma phalam in terms of future bodies as a result of negativities in the mind. It is these qualities which gives us rebirth. Next week, we'll start with the verse number 19, and we'll try and complete it next week. So 19 to 24, we'll take it up next week. Then we'll go on to the 17th chapter the following week. So in conclusion, the only thing is that all this is for us to evaluate our own mind and correct ourselves. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. If you have any questions, you can ask the questions. Shanmugam is unmuted. You can unmute yourself and you can please ask your questions. Anybody has anything at the moment?
Shekhar, do we have any control over mind? Do we have a control over our mind? Because the mind is flooded with other thoughts which we did not think we had. How come we are able to decipher and discriminate?
Yeah, okay, good, very good question. Yeah, Chandra, the basic thing is, the more you understand that you are the mind, not the mind, you are the Atma.
Okay.
See, what we have to do is, first we have to tell ourselves in meditation, just close your eyes and say, I am the pure consciousness. And then you say, let me understand what went throughout my day today. Then what will happen is, you will be able to go through your own mind and analyze what happened in your own mind during that day. Yeah. And when you analyze your own mind, you will find there are certain characteristics which are the problems, and you will be able to control. So the only trick what Lord Krishna teaches is, you must tell yourself that I am the pure consciousness. Okay. suppose you don't say this, then what will happen is you will get attached to your mind, and the mind will take you for a ride. You see, suppose you don't tell yourself, I am distinctly different than the mind. Mind is an instrument, and the mind has got Karana Shariram behind it. The Karana Shariram is full of vasanas.
Right.
The Karana Shariram is full of vasanas. Vasanas are impressions which are there in your own body. That Karana Shariram belongs to you. So I have a Sthula Shariram, which I see, which I can see. The seer of the Sthula Shariram is the consciousness. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
When I say I'm seeing my external body, who is seeing it? It is not the body seeing itself. Body is inert. It cannot know anything. There is something in me which is seeing this external body. The seer is different than the seen. So the gross body is not you. Okay, the gross body is got some doshas. Okay, we all understand that. It has got a problem. Suppose my hand cannot move. I know that it's a body which has got a problem. We all understand. But the moment we go inside from the Sthula Shariram to the Sukshma Shariram, the problem comes. Why? Because the Sukshma Shariram, the mind is very close to Atma. Very, very close. Because of the proximity of the mind with the self, which is a pure consciousness or awareness, we are not able to see the difference between mind and Atma. That is where the problem lies. You see, light specks. You see, when we see the world, we will enumerate everything else we have, but we will forget to mention that I have the specks through which I am seeing. So similarly, the mind is an instrument through which I am seeing the external world. It is an instrument. Like I have a telescope, I have a microscope, I have a mobile. These are all instruments I have. So I am the pure consciousness. I use the mind as an instrument. And what do you find in the mind? When I see through the mind, I see all the world of objects and people, beings. And this is how you have to discriminate. And then you try to say, oh, these are the problems I have. Then if you can solve the problems, but I'm telling you, even watching your mind itself is a very, very big achievement in spiritual study. Even watching a mind is a gigantic leap in the human journey of the human beings to become divine. Giant step. Many people are caught just thinking that the mind, there is nothing called as anything else. I am the mind. Like many people say, I am the body. So they are all thinking that the mind is also themselves. You see, this is where the biggest challenge comes. And this is where Shankaracharya does a beautiful job when he describes Adhyasa Bhashyam in the Brahma Sutra. He takes this threadbare in Adhyasa Bhashyam in Brahma Sutra. Just before he writes a commentary, he writes an introduction to the Brahma Sutra, and he says that the biggest human problem is that they don't understand that they are pure consciousness, Atma. Every day when we get up in the morning, this pure awareness is the alertness which we experience when we get up. And this pure awareness, which we are during the sleep, we are nothing else but Atma. We are nothing but we are in our own nature of Satchidananda Swarupa. The first adhyasa, the prathama adhyasa, is the reflection of I, which belongs to Atma, which is the characteristic of Atma is transferred to the Anatma mind. This is the adhyasa, the first adhyasa. The I of the Aham belonging to the sentient Atma, because only the sentient Atma can say I am. This I am is reflected in the mind as their first adhyasa, first superimposition. So realize this, because if you don't realize this, you will get lost in your mind. So this is the first superimposition. I should tell myself, I am not going to relate the mind as me. Just keep the mind, keep it separate all the time. It is a practice, each one of us can do it. And when we do this, what happens is that there is a facility. We all are able to keep the distance between the mind and
something wrong. Huh? Distortion.
So are you clear, Chandra?
Yeah. But then why is it you see Prakriti is one that controls everything at the same time? So
yeah,
we have not much of a control over our mind, isn't it?
Good. See, this is another deeper question. The question is, see, suppose you know that I am the consciousness and it is Prakriti which is doing all this, then you have gone into the second ladder of spirituality. You are getting to know that Prakriti, whatever it is doing, is seen by me, but I am not that.
Okay.
So now that you are learning, you got into the second stage. You have gone and said, now Prakriti is doing everything, like Lord Krishna says in the 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, 5th chapter, that learn to see that Prakriti is doing all this. I am only a witness.
Witness, yeah.
I am a witness consciousness. I am a non-participative in all the vyavahara. I don't participate in them, but I am required because without me, there is no vyavahara.
Right.
So if you're able to see that it is the Prakriti which is doing all this, then it will be easier for us to handle our mind.
Okay, thank you.
And the last thing is, you say that whatever the mind is doing is all of a lower nature. It is only an appearance and it will go away tomorrow.
Okay.
Automatically it will go away for all of us. Yesterday, whatever we experienced is gone.
Right.
Every minute what we experience is gone. The 5 minutes ago, what was experienced is gone. Again, now. See, every minute, we are never in the present, but we are always in the past. So slowly you will understand. I think you have got the gist of my answer, that slowly it's possible to see this separation of the mind, Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else has a question? Yeah, Malti, go ahead. Yeah, tell me.
Any human being or any body is not completely full of this one, tamasic or rajasic or this one. So it is a mixture of nature, no? So we have to develop the good quality. Means we have to develop the Devata qualities and we have to reduce the Asuri qualities, because we are mixture of all three.
Yeah, correct. You're right. We have to reduce our tamasic and rajasic qualities and then become more sattvic.
Yes, Satvik, I didn't get the
Yes. So that is the one. You're right. So in the 18th chapter, in the next chapter, 17th chapter, the Lord will take another direction. He will say what you have said just now, that we are all mixture of the three qualities, and what we need to do is slowly move from tamasic to rajasic, from rajasic move to sattvic. We all have the wrong tendency. It is a part and parcel of us.
Yes.
See, the biggest problem is Ajnanam. For Ajnanam, the only solution is Shastra. I am the pure awareness, consciousness, Sakshi. That is the knowledge which is the medicine for ignorance. There is no other medicine. This is the medicine. I am the Sakshi. I am the pure awareness. Let that come to you, and then you tell yourself, I have no more ignorance about myself. Tell yourself, because it is you who have got the ignorance. That is what the Shastras tells us, that I am born with this ignorance. And how do I remove this ignorance? The only way is I am always there. How? Because I have the anubhava of it. Only thing is, I don't know that is what is consciousness. In sleep state, I am Satchidananda Swarupa. What the Ajnanis, they call it as sleep state, is nothing else but ignorance. Sleep is nothing but ignorance. What, as a jnani, what I'm doing is, I am telling myself there is nothing called as sleep. It is only ignorance which is there. I am there in sleep state as this Satchidananda Atma. That is what the scriptures are teaching me. My Swarupam is pure consciousness. I am there. And you see, in the Mahavakya portion, which we'll be studying in the Wednesday class, we will be doing the dissection of how to drop the body, mind, and hold on to this Atma. That is the job of the Mahavakya. It will teach us. That is where it will teach us. There is a process involved. What I'm saying now, there is a process involved which we will learn in the 5th chapter of the Panchadasi. Okay? All right. Yeah, Shama.
Namaste. Hari Om.
Yeah.
So, am I right in understanding, therefore, that the 16th chapter is essentially a chapter for spiritual cleansing?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and in that it is mana mala tyaga. So the rubbish that is there in my mind, how do I get rid of it?
Exactly.
That's the essence.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
essence.
I wanted to check with you whether, I mean, one of course is just a thought which is coming to my mind, that a long time ago, because this restlessness of not advancing fast enough, is quite a restlessness.
Yes.
That because you can see, the more you're doing spiritual practice, what I could not see, say a year ago, the rubbish that I could not see, now because
you can see it now.
I can see it, and it's huge proportion. So
Yes.
it is almost like, what shall I get, some great skip, because it's not enough to even throw it out,
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
right.
so
That is the realization of a person who is just somewhere in the middle of the spiritual journey.
It is horrible, to just see. And in that, today's, the description of the Asuri traits is very, very useful, because not to know who are the other asuras around me, but more importantly, to recognize my own asuri pravriti, you know?
Yes, yes.
You know, like you feel you're a reasonably good person. Can you imagine? Even
That's
that,
correct.
I like to think I'm a reasonably good person. What an assumption and a half. People tell me I'm a reasonably good person, but I know for myself
Yeah,
how much rubbish there is, you know?
that's right. Yes.
So it is interesting in that. There's a book which I read a long time. This is just as a consolation and as a comfort, because there is the distress of now you're not able to clean fast enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a book which was called The Ant and the Elephant,
Yeah.
where ant is the conscious part of our mind. Conscious means the willful, you know, where I can access the consciousness, the awareness.
Yeah.
The lot of it is the subconscious, which I will say perhaps is akin to the vasanas, samskaras, which is so difficult to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the size, they're giving the idea of the size. The ant and the subconscious, which is this huge subconscious mind, that is the size of the elephant, ant
Yes.
and the elephant.
Correct.
So it is almost like, what power does this poor little ant have, this conscious mind, to push? I was just thinking about from Chandraji's question, you know,
Yes.
that
Yes.
why the mind cannot, you know, you want the mind to control it, but it is so hard because it's of the design of the mind instrument. I feel there is this mind instrument, which is such a tough design. Your conscious access, which we have, is only 10%, or you can say the size of the ant, which is probably 1%, and the total 90% is the size of the elephant. So it's really tough. So that's one thing which I'm trying to draw comfort, why I can't make it quick enough. So I was trying to think, Hasten Slowly, that book which you mentioned.
Yes.
Did you say it is Swami Chinmayaji mission?
Yeah, there is a book called Hasten Slowly. Yes.
Written by whom? Because I just checked it. It doesn't show up. So that's
Okay,
why I was...
I'll have to find out the exact title and send it to you.
Yeah, because there must be something missing, because
I think there's something missing there in the title. There's something missing.
I couldn't find it. There is names which is coming Hasten Slowly, but it's completely some other people. So that's that. So, you know, I'm very curious to think about the idea of hasten slowly. So part of this thing is you go fast, which is what my mind is saying. At the other time, I'm aware that I really cannot make it fast, you know, because of the instrument, you know, and I have to acknowledge that there's so much rubbish accumulated over so many janmas.
Yes, yes. You see, this is where the Karana Shariram becomes very, very evident.
Yeah.
You know, there is something which is called as Karana Shariram, which throws out all our dreams, you know. Absolutely. Our dreams are nothing else from the Karana Shariram, you know. It is impressions gathered over so many births, which is projected by our mind.
Yeah. I was just one other question, you know, in the watching the mind, or we have the Panchakoshas, yeah? So you have the Annamaya Kosha, the body is really not much of a problem, but the mind, as we were saying, so Manamaya, Pranamaya, you calmed your mind with the Pranamaya, and then you come to the Manmaya Kosha, as if when you're meditating, you're going through all the layers, yeah? Yes. I find it very nice to actually...
That's correct, because for the Annamaya, the Pranamaya is the Atma.
Yeah. So
for then the Pranamaya, the Manomaya is the Atma.
Correct. So
for
now
the Manomaya then becomes Vijnanamaya, the Karta, Bhokta is the Atma.
Correct. So in other words, what I'm asking is whether if the mind alone, or the Manamaya Kosha, if we imagine that it has got a dual reflecting surface. So one surface is reflecting the world, the whole of the Jagat, including my own body, what I have done for the day.
Yeah.
So it is reflecting that. The other surface is actually reflecting all my thoughts and ideas and emotions and
Yeah,
feelings.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's got a dual reflecting surface.
Yes, it
So
is.
because,
It is.
so it's like you're got a dual insult, you know, one from outside.
Yeah,
And
that is
one
what
is
we
you're
call.
doing it to yourself.
Yeah,
so you're doing it to
that's
yourself.
correct.
Yeah.
One is called as the perceptive mind, which is all the impressions from all the sense organs.
Yeah.
Okay, this is perception.
Yeah.
And the second is your own mind's thoughts.
Internal mind.
Internal thoughts, which is the memories and your own thinking, your own imaginations, that's all coming internally.
Yeah.
So the mind, when you say mind, it has got the two sides. One is the perceptions, which is the knowledge which you gather from the outside world. The five sense organs, they bring the inputs. The stimuli comes into the mind in form of thoughts.
Yeah.
That is one portion. So that is the knowledge portion.
Yeah.
The second is the mind has its own thinking.
Yeah.
Which is the thoughts which produces, it produces throughout the day.
Yeah.
These thoughts are sometimes responses to the outside world.
Yeah.
Suppose you see a flower, then the mind says, I like the flower.
Mm.
And this I like the flower is an adhyasa. It is a superimposition.
Correct.
So you should note that it is an adhyasa. The moment you are aware it is a superimposition, you are Sakshi.
Yeah. And then just one last, this thing is just really came only today. And this was almost like, you know, when I got this jiva, the jivatma, so it is like the usual analogy which was given, you know, like it's a pot, you know, clay pot.
Yeah.
So all the matter is this thing. So when I came into my body and mind, it's a clay pot. But the design was very defective, you know, so if you knock onto the clay pot, which is not baked well enough, so it's not good enough, you knock on it and there is a sound, crackpot note.
Yes.
Note, yeah.
Yeah.
So like the Kumhara who actually makes these clay pots,
Yeah.
he has to, you know, make the clay again, shape it again, put it into the baking area,
oven,
oven. So it is almost like every day during my nididhyasana, I have to knock it to see how much noise it is making.
Yes.
Put it back into the oven, Jnana Agni. What is the Agni? I must put it into the Jnana Agni, you know, the Agni, Jnana Agni of the Vedas and the scriptures. So put it into that heat, really let it go heating. And then, you know, for another day, just keep that one. And then
it's a good example, it's a good analogy for what we have studied today.
Yeah.
And
because it's a daily practice, isn't it?
Even if you become aware of a small little thing which is not the right thing to do, you have caught on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Small little thing. I should do this. I should not do this. The moment you are able to see the discrimination, this is not going to be good for me. Let me not do it. You know. So that realization, when it comes in, it's because of the purity of the mind.
Yeah. And also there was one of the worst shlokas which said, you know, you spend your entire life thinking about care for yourself or care for others.
Yes.
What a kind of a delusion is that, you know?
It's some PhD in delusion.
I love that one, PhD in delusion.
Yeah, because that's how Swami Chinmaya has described that, you know.
And the irony is that you don't see that delusion.
Yeah, you don't see your delusions. That's a problem.
God.
This chapter teaches us how there are delusions in our life and we are not aware of it. And what Shankara teaches us is just be aware that there is an adhyasa in your daily life.
Yeah.
The moment you recognize there is adhyasa, there is a superimposition of everything into this mind, then you have a chance to come out of that adhyasa. you can drop the superimposition and see that you are separate than the superimposed.
Last, when are you going to do Shankaracharya's Adhyasa?
Coming soon, very soon. Immediately after the 10th chapter is the 5th chapter. You're going to love that chapter.
Wonderful.
Okay. Anybody else? We took a long time. Any other questions of others?
Mr. Shekhar.
Yeah, Jacqueline, I was reading your question. What do you want?
Oh, you know the slide that the last slide that you chant. You always chant after the whole session.
Purnamada.
Yeah, Purnamada.
Yeah. I mean, is that okay if I have the slide? I think I don't know where it is.
Yeah. I can send it to you. No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else has any other question?
Secretary,
Bolo, bye.
the earlier statement says that desire keeps Krishna Sharira alive. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, see, all the desires we have keeps our shariram alive. That means we need to enjoy certain desires in this life. Now, that is how the law of nature is. That if you have desires, you will have a body. And you will be able to exhaust your desires only through a physical body. So what is the best way? If you don't want to have rebirth, what Lord Krishna says is, drop your desires. You will never have rebirth. And it is desires. And is birth very good for you, or is it very troublesome for you? At old age, in young age, the birth seems very nice and very good. But the moment the old age starts coming, you have this problem, that problem, then it becomes troublesome.
Then it means to say that without the desire, the Sukshma Sharim cannot be alive.
Yeah. What is it? Without the desires?
The Sukshma Sharim cannot be alive.
Yeah.
The other way around. Quite complicated.
No, it's not complicated. You just have to just understand the slight reasoning. You see, with what Krishna is saying is, with desires, you have normal dharmic desires, there is no problem. You can have thousands of dharmic desires. I mean, at your age and our, you will have just simple dharmic desires only. What he says is, you don't have adharmic desires. Adharmic desires will pull you down into another different lower loka. At least you have, okay, I want to have children, I want to have a good life. It's okay. You'll come back into the Manushya loka again. That's all.
So the desire should be a reasonable one.
Yes. See, no. What it means is, it's like this. You see, there are different types of desires. There are some desires which are for dharma, artha, kama. These are the three goals of human beings. Dharma means I want to follow right things in life. The second is I want to earn money. Third is I want to enjoy certain entertainments in life. Now these three are not bad. They're okay. But they will keep you coming back to the same body again and again. Suppose you have these three desires, these three goals. What Lord Krishna is saying is that you will be born again and again go through the same samsara cycle. There will be some sukham, there will be some dukham. There is a fourth goal, and that goal is called as moksha. That goal means that I don't want to have any more birth again. For that goal, the Lord Krishna is saying, you have to become a divine soul. You have to have Devi qualities, which means you have to drop completely all your desires for the body in future. I will want to get freedom from this rebirth itself. Not everybody gets to have this desire. if you have seen life and if you have analyzed the life properly, you check and you ask question to your own mind. Do I want to have the same type of life, or do I want to live? I want to live in the same universe without a body. And just watch the fun of everybody. And be free from a body. Suppose I tell you tomorrow morning to evening, your mind is not going to work for you. You will have zero desires in your mind tomorrow morning. Suppose I tell you, and it's possible. I have a switch in my mobile phone, I press 0, and then your mind becomes 0 in terms of all desires. How will you enjoy? How will you see the world? You will see the world as fantastic. It's very good. You get good food, you get good good life, and there is nothing, and then nothing is going to happen to your body because suppose you live like that. That means you are living a life of pure awareness. So what Lord Krishna is introducing in this whole Bhagavad Gita is there is a goal by which you can be free from the feeling that I am the body, I am the mind. There is a possibility. And that is what Krishna says, if you want to do that, then you develop these Daivi qualities. That's all. And slowly you will progress. If not in this birth, next birth, you will start with a good body and you will have a perfect mind, which will then ask for moksha at a younger age. Okay?
So we have to
Yes, we have to first understand the importance of having moksha as a value in life. Do I need moksha? Do I need freedom from rebirth? That is what is the first question you should ask. Or is this birth very good? Shall I come back again? Many people don't even have this question. Okay? Ariom.
So we have to become desirable.
Yeah, we have to become desirer of moksha. Now you've got it. Perfect.
Only good desire.
Yes, you have to have good desires in life. I want to experience the Lord. I want to see what is the Lord's nature. These are all good desires. Anybody else has any other question? Yeah, but.
So, but our fundamental problem here is we are expecting all good things from the world, and we want to avoid all the bad things from the world.
Yes.
That is where we are trapped. Right?
Correct. Which is a wrong expectation from the world.
Yes. So that crossing that, unless you cross that, we are always coming back to this. All the good desires or bad desires. Everything will fall into that only. Right?
Yes.
So you have to jump out of this whole thing.
Yes, we have to jump out of the pairs of opposites in this world which we see in front of us. I don't want to have sorrow. This is a universal desire. Nobody likes sorrow in life, but sorrow is there in life. So what Lord Krishna is telling you is, if you don't want to have sorrow in life, then you must desire moksha. There is no other way. Moksha means freedom from the pair of opposites. The moment I realize I am the pure awareness, the whole world of the pair of opposites is taken up as a lower nature, and I realize the truth, my own truth as awareness, consciousness, in which there is no pairs of opposites at all. This is the ultimate goal which can be realized by a jnani. Jnani says, I alone exist. I am the pure Atma. This is the final message which a jnani in his own heart, not to tell anybody else. It is nothing to do with anything else. This is the final message of a seeker. When he's walking in the path, his own mind will tell him, I am the awareness. Everything else which I see, which I have experienced, is of a lower order. It is like a dreamer realizing that I am the waker. Whatever I have experienced in the dream world is all false. A waker, when he realizes I am Atma, he also says the same mantra. I am not the waker, I am the pure consciousness. Whatever I experience in the waking world is all false. It is an appearance, it is not real. There is a difference between existence and appearance. Appearance is an adhyasa. It is a superimposition on the reality. The reality is pure awareness. If I hold on to that pure consciousness as my real nature, the pair of opposites which we have experienced will be experienced as an appearance. How as an appearance? Exactly like the dream was an appearance for the waker, for the realized jnani, the entire experiences he has had, all your experiences, sukham, dukkham, birth, death, right, wrong, dharma, adharma, everything. Why? Because I'll tell you the reason. This is how the steps are there in the Mahavakya portion. See, in the Mahavakya portion, when we analyze Tattvamasi, you are that, or Aham Brahma Asmi, or Prajnanam Brahma, that means this consciousness is the ultimate truth. These are all the statements from the Upanishads. When we analyze that, what we realize finally is that even this whole time and space, which we feel as a body, we feel limited. But as Atma, the Mahavakya teaches us that the Atma is free from time. It's free from space. It is not limited. Not limited means what? The consciousness, that prajnanam, that pure awareness, is not limited by time. It is timeless. That means what? Nothing affects this consciousness. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There is a process by which this is taught, that I am that awareness. Bhagavad Gita has an approach. It takes you to a certain level of spirituality. There is a higher teaching in the Upanishads which tells us this is what you are. You are a pure being. In this pure being, the whole world is an appearance. And only when you realize, when you have got a taste of that reality, then you can appreciate what is moksha. Because after that, there is your whole vision of the world changes. The jiva bhava by which you looked at the world is with reference to the body. Whereas Brahma bhava means I look at the world with reference to consciousness, pure awareness. That difference you will get only when you reach a slightly different level. For that, you will come. You will realize it for sure. It's just a process. You are in the process, and you just have to wait and let your mind grasp that truth. I try to give you a small synopsis, but anyway, that's the best at this short time.
Thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Yeah, so Siddhant has replied, Hasten Slowly is the book. I don't know, Siddhant, you can just send her the link of the Hasten Slowly.
Sir, I already sent the picture of the book on the Divine Quote group.
Okay, very good. If you have sent it to Divine Group, Shama will see it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Shama, in the Divine Quotes in your mobile, if you see, there is a picture of the book which he says he has sent.
Which group it is? On
The Divine Quotes group. Are you a member of that group? I think you are.
No. I'm member of these two, Wednesday, Saturday.
Yeah.
And that's all really. If no, Divine Course group, no, I don't know what that is.
Divine Quotes.
No.
Okay.
No wonder I'm not progressing.
No. I just forwarded to your to you right now. Can you see?
Thank you. Yeah, no, I can see just now.
Yeah, this was sent by Siddhant. So I just forwarded from
Siddhant. Wonderful. Thank you. Bless you, Siddhant. Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, if there are, yeah, sorry. Okay, thank you very much and good night. And we'll continue and we'll finish next week this chapter. And the following week, we'll start the 17th chapter. Thank you and good night. Hari Om.